Hello, fellow modelers and folks surfing the internet looking for something to watch. My name is John Lanning with IPMS for Crook, and I'm back here with another inbox review. This one, well, this is a very nice addition to some of the kits that are currently out there right now in the market, and it's from a kit manufacturer which thought was going to be lost. Although back in 2003, January 2023, I should say, they made the announcement that they're coming back, although kind of in a limited edition. Anyway, we're talking about Heller. And Heller is one of the original model kits manufacturers beginning in 1957. Basically they're French oriented. Most of the subjects are French, of course, because they're from France. Anyway, um, they put out quite a good number of kits, French aircraft related, tied in with Humbrol Airfix back in the 80s and 90s. And then, of course, there was the bankruptcy in which Heller and Humbrol and Airfix kind of disappeared for a little while. Of course, Airfix and Humbrol came. Well, yeah, Airfix and Humbrol came back a couple years later, and now it's. Is it possible that Heller's coming back too? We'll take a look and see what's going on here. Anyway, they released a video back in January 2023 announcing that they were relaunching their model line. Most of the kits are originals from the original molding from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Some of the original, the Mirage 2000C, the Superintendard, World War II French bombers, Black 152, I believe. Mirage 5, Mirage 3. All those kits are slated to come back from their original molding. The video announced that they were going through the molds, they were cleaning them up, they were making the necessary repairs to them, and they were going to re-release and relaunch their entire, well, at least most of their line. On top of that, there were some announcements too. There were going to be some collaborations with ICM when it comes to armor modeling. And they also announced a 48 scale F-16 from the Kinetic molding. They also announced their own molding for a 72nd scale aircraft. We'll get with that in here shortly here. So anyway, that's the story as of yet. It's kind of hard to get Heller kits here in North America now because I do not believe there's a distributor as of yet. Then again, they've just started. They've been producing low-key for they've been low-key for the last few years, but they announced that they're revving up production, as I said, January 2023. So whether they're going to start looking for a distributor in the U.S., I don't know. It's up to their current owner, which is based in Germany. Yeah, my understanding is what they said in the video is that production is started in Tron in France. So the original production line is back in operation. Anyway, of course, I stated the announcement is 1/72 scale kit, and now of course we've already got a few kits of this particular aircraft out there. However, this one actually has an advantage that the other ones do not have. So let me quit playing around, and this is the kit I'm talking about. The new E-2C Hawkeye kit from Heller. Just released only a couple weeks ago. I managed to get mine through Lucky Model, which is based in China. I know, but they ship from a warehouse in the UK. This is pretty good, especially with the concerning issue with tariffs and all that, which I'm not getting into. I'm gonna leave politics out of this because I don't like talking about politics. Politics is harmful to modeling. But anyway, Lucky Model was smart enough to find a way around the tariffs from China, and they have a warehouse in the UK, and they are currently selling these from the warehouse there. So, if you take a look at their website, it'll allow you to order from their warehouse in the UK, and of course the charges are much cheaper than what they currently are coming from mainland China. But anyway, that's who I got this model kit from. I looked online to see who else is selling this kit. All I saw was just mostly German websites, and I got mine. The asking price from Lucky Model was about $44 plus shipping, which was about another $14 from the UK, which is pretty affordable. Not bad for this kit. Most of the German websites were much more expensive, so you got there. I didn't see anybody else carrying it as of yet, but however, this is back when I ordered it about 2 weeks ago. It could have changed. I don't know. But as far as I know, I don't see anybody here in North America carrying the kit or Heller, in fact, at all right now. Anyway, I got the kit. Um, I opened the box, and I already had one big issue with this. Um, and I'm pretty sure a lot of modelers would be kind of upset over this because of all the things that we would like manufacturers to do is try to prevent damage and lost parts as much as possible. Of course, the number one way to do that is, of course, to bag the kit. They didn't do that. Now, I understand more likely the reason why they didn't do that is because they're not expecting these things to be shipped overseas. They're more packed for the limited market in Europe. So they might have thought that it's best not to bag them. Although it's kind of strange because, well, I'm going to try to be careful. I don't want this shifting around too much. The other problem I have is this box is pretty big for this kit. So anyway, you see this? Paper. I don't know why. I mean, and they didn't bag the parts. And I had an issue with this because, well, I'm being a crybaby about it. I had an issue with this because there were 3 loose parts in there, and when I opened the box, one of them almost took a hike on me. So I took the loose parts and put it in this bag here. And here's the irony: they bagged they bagged the clear parts. The clear parts have its own bag, but the rest of the kit does not. I don't know, but see right here, a couple of the props and one of the exhausts right there. That was the one that tried to take a hike on me. I was lucky to catch it. Thank God for sprue maps on here, because if I didn't look at the sprue map, I probably would have missed it. But anyway, a couple of the props, and that's what broke off the trees in here. And it's basically started whooshing around in here. That's a bad deal. Please, Heller, please just bag this stuff. It'd be great. So anyway, you got that. I was just caught off guard and surprised by this. But anyway, there are 5 gray sprues and 1 clear sprue. Set of decals, the instructions, and let me show you something else I thought was pretty funny. Anyway, let me go through this real quick. So here we have here. These are the items that came with the kit here. It's just basically a small small deal about their upcoming or their current kits that they're releasing as well. So you got a little, kind of a small catalog here. And this is aviation related. Yeah, of course, it'd be great because, as you see right here, it's a lot of their classic kits that they're releasing. And just for you guys here, I know some people are hoping that eventually that, let me see here. Here we go. The Super Constellation will eventually show up, especially in the military versions and the radar versions. They are releasing it. That's the TWA version right there. However, I did look on their website. They are planning on releasing the transport version and the AEW version as well. So you got all 3 versions of that kit coming out, if it's not out already. So if you're looking for that, you know, and go to the website and try to hunt one down. Trying to hunt one down in Europe. So anyway, this is a little catalog that comes along with it. Here's the instruction sheet and the decals. It's a very big decal sheet. Unfortunately, it's just for one single version of the aircraft. And we will go through this too, because I was surprised about who was making the decals for them, and it wasn't Heller. It's someone else. And I found this kind of cute, kind of hilarious. Kind of like a do not disturb sign while building. Who at home actually needed one of these? Well, I mean, I kind of do, but dogs don't read, so it doesn't matter anyway. Anyway, I found this quite amazing. Come on in. I guess it's clear. Everything's put away. And the do not disturb type. So, thanks, Heller. That put a smile on my face when I saw that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get with the spruce here. Now, to apologize here, I'm working from a laptop computer. And the reason why is because my desktop decided to commit Harry Kitty. And, well, I am currently waiting for a new desktop to come in. So I'm currently using the camera on my laptop here. And it seems to be, I don't know, I'm looking at the image right now, and it kind of fuzzes out every once in a while. It's kind of weird. But I'm hoping it'll actually, I'm hoping it's just you know, trying to focus. Maybe because I'm moving around too much or whatever. But anyway, I do apologize if the video is not as good as it previously was with the other camera. I'm hoping that it's better than that. I also moved it to where I have better lighting, because I did try and you know, take some did some testing, and it seems to me that the lighting here is a little bit better. I will be, you know, bringing the parts closer to the camera so you can actually look, and it does seem to bring out some of the detail much better than previously. So, but anyway, that's the deal with the current camera right now. Hopefully, over the next couple of weeks, I'll have my laptop set up and my camera and everything else set up, and I will be able to continue as normal. Which is also the reason why you're seeing my ugly mug, because you know, I can't really position the camera without flipping around and slinging it across the room and scaring the hell out of the dogs and waking up the neighbors and etc. So anyway, here's the first sprue here. This is the fuselage and the wings, or I should say the tail, part of the wings. And no, it's just a tail. Yep, yeah, it's just a tail. You know, anyway. And of course, you're going to notice right here, the boarding ladder, you can display with it open on the fuselage, you see right here. So anyway, you take a look at the detail. Very nice detail. Panel lines are not very thick. They're not very deep. Pretty decent for this kit. Here's the tail. The V portion of the tail in the back there. So right off the bat, you know, at least the panel lines look nice and decent. That'll be the first sprue right there. Second sprue. The wings, the engine mounts, and part of the mounting for the radar down here. And again, look at the detail. Pretty good. And of course, there's the flaps for the wings. Now, as I mentioned, this kit, now we've already got a couple E2 kits out there. One is the original kit from Fujimi, which came out in 1970. That one is, you know, I looked on, you know, I looked on the website. I'm sorry, I can't think of the name right now. But I looked on the Scale Web website to take a look and see the history of the kits here. And I know because Heller released the kit back in 2000 with the moldings, and I thought it was the Fujimi molding. Now they're claiming it's from a kit maker called CC Lee from China. However, I used to own a CC Lee kit E2, and I currently have one of the Fujimi kits. As a matter of fact, it's the Heller reboxing. They're the same kit. So I suspect the CC Lee kit is an unauthorized duplication of the Fujimi kit from 2000. But Heller managed to get that, or they managed to get the Fujimi molds. Not really sure. According to the website, it's the CC Lee molds, and they rekitted it with French markings in 2000. Now that kit's, of course, no longer in production. I don't know how long that was on the line there. However, you have the Fujimi kit, as I stated, the CC Lee kit, which I suspect is Fujimi, and then you have the Hasegawa kit. The Hasegawa kit is, of course, a newer one. First molds come out in 2008, and of course, it was a much better reproduction than the Fujimi kit. Although Fujimi kit isn't exactly a bad kit, just outdated. The Hasegawa kit, which is a much better detailed kit. However, both kits had one issue. If you want to fold the wings, you have to get aftermarket to do it. You cannot fold the wings in either the Fujimi kit or the Hasegawa kit. Definitely not the CC Lee kit. However, this one you can. This has the parts to fold the wings. I know a lot of the Navy guys here would love that because they can build a carrier diorama and without the E2 sitting there with the wings stuck out and taking up most of the space. You fold up the wings, you set another plane next to it. That's one of the things that was very exciting about this kit. And the fact of the matter is that, when we compare prices with this, I did take a look at the prices for the Hasegawa kit and this kit right here, the Heller kit. The Hasegawa kit is slightly more expensive by a few bucks. However, if you want to fold the wings, you got to buy a wing fold kit. Either from Wolfpack or somebody else that made one of those kits. Normally they cost about 20 bucks. So if you want to fold the wings, you got to pay another at least $20 for a conversion set. With a Fujimi kit, the parts come in here. You can do it with just the parts in the box. Problem solved, because you don't have to go looking online for a fold set, because fold sets that come and go. Sometimes they're out of production. You have to wait a while longer, or you have to hunt online to find out if somebody's going to sell one. Heller has the wings on the kit for the Heller kit. They fold up for you, and that's why we're seeing this right here. You see these wings right here, top, the bottom, and you see the flaps are separate from the wings. And I will show you shortly here the mechs for the folding. Here is the radar itself. Parts of the cockpit. Here's the cockpit itself here. The front, the main gear landing bay. Bulkhead for the cockpit here. Landing gear parts right here. There's a control panel. And here we have right here, you see these two right here? These are for the folded wings. And let's take a look at the detail. That's some lovely detail. Detail of the control panel as well. It's engraved. I like that. Anyway, folding wings. Here's the cockpit itself. You see again, engraved detail. Not decals, although decals do come with a kit. It's engraved. Something that I personally like because you can weather it. More of the wing folding wing detail right here. And of course the front bay for the landing gear. Landing gear stuff right here. Flip it over. And of course, there's here's the base for the landing gear that goes into the engine nacelles. So, this looks nice here too. I mean, look at the detail on the dish there. Getting closer there. Nice detail on the dish. So there's the second right there. Okay, and then you got this sprue right here. There's two sprues of the same set. These is mostly for the engines and the the landing gear wheels and the props here. And you have both versions of the prop of the E-2C. So you have the standard turboprop version, and then you have the new A-bladed version here. So both come with a kit. So yes, you will see this rebox in the future. They've also announced it as well. Back in 2023, when they announced this kit, they of course showed this version first, and they announced that they're going to release a version for the Japanese self-air defense forces, and they're going to release one for the French Navy. When they're going to be released, they did not mention or state. Although, I would think it probably would be within the next few years. There's the main landing tires, slightly weighted wheels, which I don't know. If your wheels look that flat during operations, you need to talk to your service chief. That's ridiculous. There's the seat. Now, I guess you need to think back to the fact that E2 doesn't really have ejection seats. So, there's two of the sprues like this in the kit as well. Here's your clear parts. I'm not going to open the bag, sorry. What was that kind of filament or something there? There's your clear parts right there. There's a lot of clear parts. I don't know if this is supposed to be the kit or not. Weird. Alrighty. Okay. Alright, and here's your instruction manual right here. Don't take the decals out. Here's your instruction manual. Don't be fooled. It's mostly black and white exploded views, standard. You see from here. So, yep. I mean, there's, discoloration for, inside or whatever it is. Call outs, I do believe. Let's see here. Here's your color call outs. And I'm pretty sure that's Heller paint. Yeah, as a matter of fact, yep, that's exactly what it is here. They're advertising Heller paint on the next page. So yeah, those are Heller color callouts. I wouldn't be surprised if they still match up with Humbrol, although maybe not. It looks like some of the colors are some of the numbers are a little different. So anyway, start with some of the instructions. There are some coloring of the instructions, but mostly black and white. There's your cockpit assembly, and starting to put your fuselages, prepping your fuselages. Putting the fuselage together, putting your engine nacelles together. Putting on engine nacelles onto the wings. More stuff on the fuselage of the aircraft, including your boarding ladder, which is cool. And then we start with the wing assembly. Now, of course, you can build it with the wings straight out, or you can build it with the wings folded. radar assembly attachment. And details for stuff like the antennae and windshield wipers and your clear parts. And your props. And it shows you both ones. So, now of course the version of this kit here uses the 8 prop, 8-bladed prop. And this is right here. E-2C VAW 115 Liberty Bells in Atsugi in 2017. There's your top version of the markings. As I stated, there's only one marking for this kit. Although there are a lot of there's your side views. But there are a lot of decals out there for E-2Cs, both the pre-2000 modifications and then the -2000 and E-2D modifications out there. There's your sprue maps, page 1. Sprue maps, page 2. So there's your instructions here. Now, as I stated here, the decals are kind of... I was pleasantly surprised with the decals here. Now, what we see from a lot of manufacturers, Academy in particular and a few others, a lot of the boxing that they've been coming out with, they're no longer doing their own decaling. They've gone by with other manufacturers, in particular Cartograph, which has one hell of a reputation for making excellent decals. But other decal makers have been involved in well. Well, this one right here, these are the decals for this particular kit. And the manufacturer, Fightertown Decals. Now, I'm not sure very many people in Europe or Asia know about Fightertown decals. They're known pretty well here in the U.S. They make mostly U.S. Navy markings, mostly in 48 scale. So I think they've done 72nd scale kit before. So I mean, you know, but this right here, I mean, they've got a pretty good reputation. The decals are nice and great register here. Nothing is out of print, nothing's out of mark, nothing smudged. So it looks pretty good. So those are the decals for you. Let me rebox this here real quick, and I will give you my final thoughts. Okay, so we've seen what Heller has done in its reintroduction into the modeling world. My thoughts are, I like it. I'm very impressed. You know, especially for a model kit, the majority of the modeling, their molds are from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This is a step up from what we've previously seen. And they're stepping up just like everybody else is. So, this ain't exactly unusual, although I kind of suspected that they were just beginning again. You weren't really sure whether the kit was going to have as much detail as as some of the kits out in the market now, or if they're just going to go by baby steps and put some detail in and then build it up over time. This kit right here, and the thing about this as well is because, I mean, there is a debate going on concerning aircraft like this and transports and bombers and all this, of, you know, over detailing. And what I mean by over detailing is that they put details in for parts of the aircraft in which you will not see. There are some models that have that, and you know, and a lot of people complain because, you know, again, it's something that could affect the price of the kit. And there are people questioning whether over detailing is actually making kits more expensive than they should be. In the case of this right here, only the cockpit is detailed. Now, of course, back behind the cockpit is all your radar operators and stuff like that. Well, none of that equipment's in the kit. Now, there's a boarding ladder on the one side there. The question is that, are you really going to see anything just through that boarding ladder on the inside of the kit? Probably not. I'm more like, well, probably in that space where your door's at, you know, both in front and, you know, and behind, you might see something, but you're not going to see the interior details of this aircraft. And they avoided doing that, which is great. Of course, they added the bulkhead, but the bulkhead can actually help with keeping the fuselage sturdy, so it doesn't collapse or warp or, you know, shrink over time. So, you know, there's no, you know, over detailing on this kit, at least when it comes to the interior. Um, I do like the idea. It comes with, yeah, it comes with both props, and of course, more likely we will see this re-released a few times at least. Of course, the folding wings. The folding wings, yeah. Folding wings. A lot of people are looking for that, something like that, and finally somebody has decided they were going to listen to the modelers and fold the wings. Now, hopefully, the plastic is strong enough to support the wings. Um, you know, I would be kind of afraid if this was in the Airfix plastic, the rubber plastic that Airfix uses, and they try to fold the wings, because I to be honest, I don't think the Airfix kits would be able to support that kind of weight on a small joint with the type of plastic that they're currently using in our model kits. But these guys, it doesn't seem to be they're using the same type of plastic here. It seems to be a bit more sturdy. Yeah, slightly more sturdy than the Airfix plastic is. So hopefully the joints can withhold the weight of the wings being folded like it is. Otherwise, it'd be back to the chalkboard when it comes to offering that option on their kit. But everything else in this kit, I do like. Now, as compared to the other kits, there, so the Fujimi kit, you just put that off to the side there. The Fujimi kit is way outdated. It does compare favorably to the Hasegawa kit. Now, if you do have the Hasegawa kit, you don't care about the folded wings, don't bother getting rid of your stash on that. I mean, the Heller kit, the detail's just as good as the Hasegawa is. It's nothing special. So if you want to buy the kit with the folded wings, then I would suggest getting the Heller kit. If you don't, then you know the Heller kit would probably be a bit more an affordable option. As I stated, I bought mine with $43 with shipping. Looking online, the Haskell kit's running about 46, 47 bucks, something like that. So a little bit of a price difference. Not a massive one, not very big. So, if you're able to get the Heller kit for cheaper than the Hasegawa kit, then, go ahead. Otherwise, Hasegawa kit's pretty decent enough to where, it doesn't have to be worried about the Heller kit except for the wing fold. So, if you're just wanting to build an E-2C and you've already got the Hasegawa kit, I wouldn't get rid of it. I'd go ahead and build it anyway. Now, hopefully, in the future, they come out with an E-2C specific for the French Navy, which they said they would do. If you're looking for a French Navy version of the E-2C Hawkeye, I would get that. Now, of course, the history of E-2C, it's been a very popular aircraft, U.S. Navy, as a stated French Navy. Also, Israel operated it once. Some of the ones that operated by Israel were sold to Mexico, and they operated them for a while. I don't know if they're still in operation or not. Also, Singapore operated them, Japan operated them, Taiwan operated them. I'm pretty sure there's a few other countries that I'm missing at this particular point. But it was a popular aircraft, especially back in the 1980s. But anyway, if they do plan on doing a French version, hopefully they do, with French-specific equipment. I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of that involved anyway. But anyway, yeah. I'm gonna give this kit. I'll give this kit an 8. It's a nice kit. I like the detail in the cockpit and all that. I'm not seeing any errors in the box except for how you pack it. Come on, guys, come on. As I showed you with the box here, the box is oversized for the kit. They could cut that down a little bit to reduce the amount of shaking that goes on. They could put the parts in a plastic bag. That'd be great. It's mostly the shipping issue that's a problem with this. And I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people, they order this and they come back and they complain of broken parts or missing parts because of the way it's been boxed. It's not a good deal. But anyway, um, I'm hoping in the near future. Right now, Heller hasn't really announced anything brand new. As I stated, they announced some reboxings with ICM and with Kinetic. This is other than in their automobile kits. This is the first new mold that they've produced. Um, they go to rebox it. Hopefully, they'll come out some other stuff as well. Uh, but we'll see down the line. And hopefully, they will find a distributor here in the U.S. With the current tariff situation here, I don't think they're going to be wanting to rush into doing some sort of agreement until the tariff situation is stabilized, which probably won't be for a while, which is unfortunate. But however, if you do want to get a Heller kit, I would suggest looking at the markets in Europe, which this is the primary market for Heller kits right now, and taking a look. As I say, I got this from Lucky Model. Most of the folks that were selling this at the time were journeymen, and unfortunately, shipping from Germany is very, very expensive. However, I'd say if you can't find another distributor outside of Germany, wait or buy from Lucky Model. That's what I did. Um, Hopefully, other distributors will soon be selling these online as well. Heller, welcome back. Hopefully, we get some new kits from you. With this type of detail and this type of work. This is very good. This is great. Keep this up and keep it up with new kits. So anyway, if you have any problems, gripes, complaints, declarations, whatever it is, just go and post them down. Go ahead and questions as well. Anybody's got some experience with building this thing, because I haven't built it yet. I probably won't build it for a while. I'm pretty sure somebody online is going right through the box putting stuff together already. I would love to hear your thoughts on the build, because just because it looks good in a box doesn't mean it's going to be good on a shelf or good on the workbench, because sometimes we do end up with some problems with construction, parts not fitting. We didn't check for the ejection pin marks on it. I didn't see any when I was going through the box there, so at least not on the portions that you're going to be looking at. And a lot of manufacturers have kind of cleaned up as well. But anyway, if you're building it, I love to hear your responses on it, on the build, what you think about it. So anyway, guys, get those modeling war faces on. As I did earlier on here, there was an announcement concerning Ocon Expo model contest, concerning the themes of the contest and all that. It's a separate video on the IPMS for Crook Facebook page, along with this review here. So, anyway, anything, just go ahead and post it below. I'll try to get to you as soon as I possibly can. You guys have a good night. Keep those modeling horses on, and just keep on building. Anyway, goodbye.